Thank you, Amy. It's really great to see so many colleagues and friends in person this evening after more than 2 years of virtual interaction. I want to start by congratulating Susie for this tremendous honor and well-deserved. And I'd also like to congratulate my friend, partner, and mentor, Alan Kornberg, who, please indulge me, I have a lot to share about. While tonight is their night, I feel like I'm being honored too because I get to introduce Alan, the person I look up to and admire more than anyone in this profession. Introducing a giant of the profession like Alan is easy. He's among the most accomplished restructuring professionals in the world, having worked on the most complicated restructurings of our lifetime, including PG&E twice, TXU, and the list goes on. He's played a leading role in many of the most prominent professional organizations, chaired the Bankruptcy and Corporate Reorganization Committee of the City Bar, and served as Second Circuit Regent for the American College of Bankruptcy. He's been recognized by the leading organizations supported by our industry, including Her Justice, UJA, and even Catholic Charities. His accomplishments and accolades are virtually endless. But what I most want to emphasize are some of his defining characteristics that make him so special. First, courage. Alan left a very successful practice at Milbank Tweed to start the Paul Weiss practice in 1990. There wasn't a single bankruptcy lawyer that existed at the firm. There may have been people who would say they practiced in the field, but Alan was the founder of the group. And today the group is 45 lawyers dedicated to restructuring, built on his shoulders. Vision. Alan was not ever a believer, and today is not a believer in debtor practices, creditor practices. Alan is a true believer and has ingrained in all of us that we're all problem solvers and we can work on any part of a deal, whether it's debtor, creditor, litigation, transactional. He's always believed that's the best way to train lawyers, and that's how he's trained each of us. Generosity. With his time, Alan has been a great mentor and teacher to many people in this room who have gone on to hugely successful careers. To name a few, Judge Drain, Steve Shimshak, Jeff Saferstein, Kelly Cornish, Andy Rosenberg. It's amazing the lawyers that have been trained by Alan Kornberg. Not-for-profits. Alan has dedicated a tremendous amount of time to not-for-profit organizations, including serving as the president of the Board of Trustees of Bennington College, the chair of the Board of Trustees at the Mount Desert Biological Lab in Maine, and giving back to the profession, which I noted earlier. Another great characteristic of Alan's is his dedication, both to clients and to Harold, his life partner and husband of an amazing 43 years. Respect and collegiality. For those of you who don't work at Paul Weiss, trust me, we are the envy of the firm because of the way that our group behaves, gets along with one another, interacts with one another, and respects one another, and it's all because of Alan. And last but not least, impeccable judgment. I've never met another human being that has better judgment than Alan on just about any topic you can imagine. You know you're on solid ground with Alan. Within Paul Weiss, Alan has been a beloved partner, leader, visionary, and treasured mentor to many, including me. As a lawyer, Alan is a generational talent, the rare individual who reaches the pinnacle of his profession while making those around him better. To borrow from the sports analogies that Alan hates but tolerates from the rest of us, he's the rare five-tool player in baseball like Willie Mays, as my partner Andy Rosenberg likes to say, or as I like to tell our colleagues, he's our version of Michael Jordan, simply the best to play the game. More importantly, as a person, Alan is humble, gracious, kind, well-mannered, an exemplary professional and human being in every way. With his work ethic, grace, and professionalism, Alan reminds us of what is best in our profession. He is truly the best role model my colleagues and I and our entire profession could ever have. It is said that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. In that vein, much of my professional life is and forever will be guided by one simple question: what would Alan do? With that, it is my greatest pleasure to introduce my mentor, role model, and best friend at Paul Weiss, Alan Kornberg.
Brian, thank you for those over-the-top remarks. I will treasure them always. Let me add that I've learned so much from Brian over these many years of working together, and not only his incredibly creative problem-solving, intense devotion to client needs and objectives, but also his decency, loyalty, tolerance, and patience. You truly are an inspiring colleague. Some in this room may remember a time when Delaware didn't have enough bankruptcy judges, so district judges pitched in and handled Chapter 11 cases with sometimes unusual results. Some of the judges enjoyed the work, others not so much. In one contentious retail case involving several particularly colorful bankruptcy lawyers that you all know, the district judge lost patience one afternoon and exclaimed, "You bankruptcy people, it's always about the money." I think she was right, but for different reasons than she probably intended. Tonight proves that the restructuring community knows a lot about money, including how to raise it and how to spend it. Once again, our community has come together in a show of stunning generosity to support an organization that does so much good for so many in so much need. Those here tonight understand the dire circumstances of the vulnerable women and children served by her justice and have responded resoundingly to the call for help. I chose to become a bankruptcy lawyer because the work seemed varied and interesting. I had no idea that I would be joining such a diverse yet cohesive community that unites time and time again to support worthy causes and to help people at risk. So it is a great honor to be in the company of those in this room whose wisdom, generosity, compassion are truly inspiring. As the planning for tonight unfolded over many months, 6 long months, as you heard, it also became clear to me that much of your extraordinary generosity is because of Susie Gibbons. Susie is widely admired, deeply respected. Indeed, I have never heard anything said about her that wasn't entirely flattering. And there aren't many in the restructuring world about whom that can be said. Trust me. Susie has trailblazed, and she's done so with grace and elegance, fairness and intelligence. So it is a great honor for me to share tonight's event with her. Congratulations, Susie. Nor can enough good things be said about the staff of Her Justice, and you've heard a little about them. I've been involved with numerous nonprofit organizations over the years, and I can assure you there is no group that has a more effective team than Her Justice. From top to bottom, the staff is exceptional and exceptionally well organized. In particular, I would call out Kathy and Devin, who run a very well-oiled machine. And more important, they're a joy to work with. Their enthusiasm for the work that Her Justice does is infectious. And having seen this team in action, it is easy to understand how they turn every $8 of contributions into, every dollar of contribution into $8 worth of pro bono legal services. They are awesome. Much of tonight's success is also due to the outstanding efforts of the amazing group of honorary co-chairs. This large and impressive group of some of the leading lights of the restructuring community work tirelessly week after week to corral the support needed to achieve and surpass Her Justice's ambitious fundraising goals. Their efforts in support of this evening were truly exceptional. In particular, I want to call out Pauline Morgan of Young Conaway, who rallied our colleagues in Delaware so effectively. Thank you, Pauline. If the past 2 years have taught us anything, it is how important it is to be together. It is remarkable how well we and the institutions that employ us functioned while working remotely, and how nimble organizations like Her Justice could adapt and so successfully continue to fulfill their mission despite the challenges of COVID. But there is simply no substitute for being together, and tonight proves it. We are better lawyers, investors, advisors, bankers when we collaborate in the company of our colleagues. We share more ideas, experience, expertise, and not to mention gossip when we are with each other in the office. Early on in the pandemic, I realized that my laptop was a very poor substitute for my colleagues at Paul Weiss. I even began to long for conference room meetings, although not conference room food, in which adversaries said outrageous things. Among other things, I missed the drama of what we do and how we do it. I say this to make an obvious point. I never could have had the very fulfilling career that I've had without the support and daily interaction that I have with my colleagues at Friends and Paul Weiss, or without the support of so many in this room from whom I have learned so much and with whom I've had so much fun over so many years. Working together, we have solved many complex and seemingly intractable problems, but as tonight proves once again, we also find the time to come together with enthusiasm and joy to ensure that organizations that serve the underserved have the resources they need to do their important work. So I thank Her Justice not only for the vitally important work that they do and for singling me and Susie out to receive their annual award, but for bringing all of us together and reminding us that together as a community, there is virtually no good deed that is beyond our reach. Thank you so much.